Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Scale to the Moon Summit, Day 7. I want to say a huge shout out and thank you to Elizabeth Otis for creating this, for doing everything behind the scenes to make this possible, for the honor and the invitation to be part of this, the Scale to the Moon Summit. And my name is Adele. I'm here to talk to you today about maximizing your marketing message to optimize converting your ideal clients. So if that is what you are here for, you are in the right place. I'm going to give people a minute to jump on to get the little notification that we are live. I have the chat here on the side. So if you are joining me live, please feel free to say hi. If you have any questions that come up during the talk, you can pop them in there and I will check them. I will do my best not to get distracted at the same time. So thank you. And if you're watching this in the future, please hashtag replay. You can also feel free to pop in any questions. I will come back and get back to you if you have any questions. So, all right, I guess let's dive in. So again, my name is Adelle King. It is day 7 of the Scale to the Moon Summit here in the Be Live Movement Facebook group, hosted by Elizabeth Otis. And today we are talking about maximizing your marketing message to optimize and attract your ideal clients. So you're converting your ideal clients. So let's dive in. Again, just now we've switched gears into my branding. I wanted to put something there that was in line with the summit and the look, in case anybody hopped on before we started. I do have a special gift for you at the end, so please stay with me. I think it will be really helpful for you if you are working on your marketing and kind of finding your strategy and how to really make it work for you. So if that is something that you would like, please stick with me to the end. A little bit about me. Hi, Keisha. Welcome. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for being here. We're just getting started, so perfect timing. A little bit about me. I am Adele. I'm Adelle King. I'm a business coach working with female entrepreneurs, and in my coaching, I bring together 10 years of experience working on the back end of online businesses, working with mainly female entrepreneurs in the consciousness sphere. So I also have 10 years of experience in personal development and leading workshops on consciousness, as well as participating in them, doing healing work. And then I also have a teaching background. I have a master's in education and I used to teach preschool. I love that age group, love the littles. So I bring all of that together in working with my clients. And why I do what I do is that I believe that there is a global shift occurring and that there is a requirement for more female leadership in the world at this time. And what better way to lead as a female than by creating a business and becoming an entrepreneur? So I love empowering other women to build their dream business. And I believe that whatever you desire for your business, for your life, whatever that looks like for you, and that can be very different for everyone. For some people, it's having a farm in the country. For some people, it's a penthouse in the middle of the city. For some people, it's $1 million. For some people, it's $50,000 a year. So really, like whatever that is for you, that you can have that. And I believe business can be fun and simple. So let's have some fun. Woo, fun. I love sparkles. I I created a slide, maybe I'll show you guys at the end, of like things I love that are not business related. And it was like a very busy slide, but I tucked it like at the very end of the slideshow. So if you want, let me know. Maybe I'll share it with you at the end. So a little bit about what we will cover today. Clarifying your marketing message and how to make that really effective. Identifying your ideal marketing method that's actually sustainable and effective, and creating your marketing plan, and then implementing and making money. I don't really cover that specifically, but that's what the target is. And so this workshop is designed for you to know exactly what makes a powerful marketing message, how to craft that, to get crystal clear on how to craft your unique marketing message to attract your ideal clients, and also to weed out clients that aren't ideal for you, that aren't a good fit, to have them kind of clear themselves out in advance so you're not wasting your time and energy. And then also with that gift at the end, you'll gain access to an exclusive resource for finding the right marketing method for you, your business, and your audience. And we'll cover some of that in this training as well. So some nice things that people who have said about master classes that I've done in the past, trainings that I've done in the past. I tend to be very clear and step by step, as Michelle pointed out, and just really make it very easy to understand. Again, preschool teacher. So if you want to read more about this, you can find these reviews on my Facebook page, Adelle King Business Coaching. So let's dive in to the steps to successful marketing. I actually have done like a deep dive into marketing to re-up on my marketing knowledge. So I'm really excited to share this with you. And I also just went through some of this in my group mastermind program. So here we go. The first step, and this is like pre-marketing, is you need to know your niche. Your niche kind of leads into your marketing message, and knowing your niche is a combination or a cross section of three things. It's what do you do, right? And that's when you share with people what is your niche. When someone asks you, what do you do? What is the problem that you solve? You probably hear that a lot in the entrepreneurial sphere, is like what you have to hone in on the problems of your clients. Well, you can either hone in on the problem that you solve or the outcome that you offer. And I kind of think of these as being 180 degrees of each other, right? Like you can flip it, like if it's not this, then it is this, right? That's how you go from one to the other. And then who do you serve? Who is your clientele? Who has that problem and is looking for that outcome and that service that you provide? That's the second piece. And then what sets you apart? Why would people choose to work with you to get that outcome or that result as opposed to somebody else? So for me, I'm a business coach. I work with female entrepreneurs and I help them shine their light to build a thriving and sustainable and profitable business that they love. And that's what you're going to do with these three pieces. You want to be really clear about what you do, who you serve, and what makes you unique. And you want to be specific. You want to like hone in on what exactly is that thing that you offer and focus on the outcome. And then use the languaging of your clients. So you can go through, I'm going to go back a slide. You can go through and write out with each of these things, like do kind of a brain dump and get really clear. I'm assuming you guys know your niche. I heard there's a lot of trainings in this summit about niche. So if that's something that you're still working on that you'd like more information about, please feel free to either pop a question in the comments or reach out to me, let me know. And then you're going to take those pieces and you're going to craft your I help statement. So this is like before we even get into marketing, this is like the foundation, the precursor to your marketing is having your I help statement. I help, then pop in who's your clientele, who's your audience, what do you help them do, what is the problem that you solve, and then so they can, and what are the results or the outcomes or the benefits, right? I help female entrepreneurs to shine their light so they can turn their brilliance into a thriving, profitable business they love. And this becomes your main marketing message. So for networking, for that initial conversation with somebody, when someone says, what do you do? This is where you start that conversation. Oh, thanks, Keisha. I just saw your message. So, all right, stick around because that slide's all the way at the end. I'll share it with you about what I love to do. Refocusing. Okay, so some people call this your elevator pitch or your unique selling proposition. I'm here, I call it your I help statement, whatever that is. Write it out, play with this, see what feedback you get and adjust it accordingly. And you'll start to see, like, you may be getting people asking you kind of leading questions like, who exactly do you help? Or, you know, how do you do that? And you'll start to hear the feedback as you play with it of like, oh, I love that. Or tell me more about that. That's when you know you're on the right track. Okay. So that's our first bit. Next, you're going to pick your marketing method. Now, there's a lot of coaches out there that will teach you their method that worked for them and worked for their testimonial star clients. One of the things that sets me apart, one of my unique selling propositions, right, is that my systems are fully customizable because you are unique. Your business is unique. Your audience is unique, and you need to find the thing that works for you. So this piece is about you. Once you figure out your marketing method, then go find that coach that teaches it or is an expert in that. That's great. But first figure out what's going to work for you. So there's a lot of people out there teaching social media marketing. But my recommendation is figure out what are your natural strengths. Are you someone who's great at writing? Are you someone who is a connector, who's great at networking and talking with people and socializing? Are you someone who is a speaker, who's really good at public speaking? Is humor maybe one of your strengths, or teaching, or simplifying? Or find what are your unique and your natural strengths. Then figure out where is your audience, where do they like to hang out, where do they also, what format do they like to get info in? Are they readers? Are they people who like to watch videos? Are they people who like to show up to live things? Figure out where to find your audience. So that's the second piece. And then what's going to actually be enjoyable for you, that's going to be something that you can do well and that your audience will receive and see, and then that's going to be sustainable for you so that you can do it for the long term, right? Because this is your business. You want to be in business for the long haul. So we want to set you up for success from the beginning. Okay. So finding that thing that brings together your strength and your audience and is going to maximize your effectiveness in reaching your audience. Pick your one marketing method. So look at, when I say where is your audience, are they people who check their email inboxes constantly? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on TikTok? Depending on maybe their age or their profession or whatever that category is of people that you work with. Start with one method, one platform that you're focusing in on, whether that's writing a weekly blog and sending it in an email newsletter, or being on LinkedIn and optimizing your LinkedIn marketing method, or being on Facebook and engaging in Facebook groups, and or speaking and getting on podcasts and doing summits. And so there's many different options. Find the one that fits your strength and your audience and where that's a match, and then make that your main marketing method and commit to that for at least 30 days. 60 or 90 is even better because it takes some time to start to get traction. You may get traction right away, depending on how long you've been working on your business, how big your audience is, how big your following is, but start and give yourself time for it to work, for to see what's going well, to adjust accordingly. But start with one so that your effort isn't divided, so you're not spreading yourself thin. Okay. And then know your marketing message. So we started out with your I help statement, your niche, but this is going to be the next level. So in terms of marketing and creating content and communicating with your audience, look at what do your clients most need to know? What are the things that you teach your clients or work with your clients around that are the main points? Or these are often called content pillars. They may have some different names, but you want to pick the 3 or 4 like biggest concepts that your ideal clients need to know. And then you're going to build your communication, your marketing messaging around that. As you're doing that, as you're sharing that information, you want to also be communicating with them that this is something you can help them with. And you don't want to necessarily tell them the whole how you can help them with it, but you want to make it clear that you are someone who can help them with this particular topic that you are educating them on, or sharing with them information about, or your perspective, your unique perspective, or your unique approach. And then have a clear call to action. So this can be sign up for my lead magnet, or sign up for this webinar or this event, or it can be subscribe to my email list, or it can be read this blog article, or it can be numerous things, or it can be sign up to have a one-on-one session for a sales call, right? An introductory call. So figure out what is the main action, and this goes to your client journey, or like what is the process that you want your marketing to move them through, because marketing is really designed to just grab somebody's attention and bring them into your world, right? They don't know you and they see something that you've put out there and they go, oh, that speaks to me. So you want to hone in on those things that your audience is looking for, that they are going to be attracted to. And then you want to move them from not knowing you to that next step, whatever that next step may be. Again, subscribe or join my Facebook group, or let's get on a call, or whatever that may be. So know what that is, what your target is, and then work backwards. So work backwards from your call to action. Pick your 3 to 4 main marketing pillars and plan what you're going to say in your marketing, what you're going to share with your audience. And then again, see what works, see what doesn't, and then adjust accordingly. Do more of what works, do less of what doesn't, or look at what didn't work, and then how can you adjust it? And then once you start to create content, don't be afraid to repurpose and reuse that content, to take out little clips, to play with how you share that, and to create it in batches. And we'll get into that in our next step, which is create your marketing plan. So for this, you want to choose your frequency. How often are you communicating with your prospective clients? Your audience will begin to expect to hear from you regularly. So it becomes a nice thing when you have a rhythm and a routine, both for yourself in terms of how you structure running your business and doing your marketing. And so as you're looking at how frequently are you communicating with your prospective clients, think about how much time you're going to be putting into this each week, each day, what makes sense, what will be fun and effective and sustainable. And this will depend also on your platform that you're choosing, right? We're focusing on one method for the time being. So depending on if you're looking at focusing on writing a blog and doing an email newsletter, or being on Facebook and doing social media marketing and engaging, there's going to be a different rhythm. And there are people who email daily, and there are people who do Facebook daily, and there are people who email weekly or bi-weekly, and there are people who maybe they're on LinkedIn. I just got a message from LinkedIn in my inbox this week that most people post on LinkedIn monthly. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, what a concept. So figure out kind of what's your rhythm, how frequently are you communicating with your audience, and then stick to that rhythm, that routine. Create a marketing routine around that and plan a time each day or each week. Put it in your calendar. I'm really big on using a calendar, scheduling out time to implement your plan, and always make sure it's anchored in what's really going to work for you, for your lifestyle, for your business, for your audience, for your clients, so that it is sustainable, right? Because if it's something that you hate to do, how long are you going to be able to do that for? It's not going to work. So you want to really look at who you are, what your audience requires, and what's going to work. Okay. And it doesn't mean you have to do it all by yourself, but plan in a way that's going to be realistic from the beginning and effective. Okay. So make a plan, stick to it. If you need, get an accountability buddy, have a coach that holds you accountable. Make sure your plan is sustainable for you. Schedule time out each week, each day, each month, whatever it is, and use your marketing as a way of nurturing your audience. So first you want to catch their attention. And some people, as soon as they see your marketing, they're going to be ready to buy, but that's not the case for everybody. And for most people, they need several touch points, several interactions, several engagements with your content and your message and getting to know you before they're going to be ready to buy. So marketing is also part of building that relationship with your audience and your prospective clients. And so you want to think about that, providing value, informing your audience, your ideal client, so that they're getting to know who you are, how you can help them, that you can help them. Hello, if you're hopping on, good morning. And that you're building that relationship. So again, as you're doing this, as you're planning out time and you're creating content for your marketing, you can do this in batches, right? So you can, if it's Facebook and you're doing videos, you can plan a day where you're just going to do videos, right? And record a whole bunch because you know what you're going to say, because you figured out your content pillars and you figured out your call to action and you know your plan. Then you can do that in one chunk of time. And then make that regular time to be engaging and nurturing your audience. And again, this goes back to what you choose for your marketing plan, for your marketing method. And all of this is fully customizable to you, your audience, your business, and your strengths so that it works for you, so that it is sustainable. And when you do this, so when your marketing message is clear, right? So we started with, I'm realizing I don't have like a recap slide. So I'm actually going to go back for a second and just do like a real quick recap. So when you have your clear, specific, profitable, I help niche statement, right? So you're speaking really clearly to your audience. You know your marketing methods. So you're focusing on one thing, doing it really well, where your audience is, where your strength is. And then you're messaging based on what they most require and need to hear, the things that you are teaching and helping your audience with consistently the thing that they most require, that maybe they don't even know that they most require, right? Whether you're educating them on their problem or a new solution that they've never considered or come across before, and then you're implementing that regularly to nurture your audience. First of all, people who that doesn't apply to are gonna quickly just go the other way, right? They're gonna just like, bye. And the people who are your ideal client are gonna lean in. And the more clear and concise and consistent that you are in implementing this, the faster that people will move through that process and convert from prospective clients into actual active clients. So a couple of pro tips: create that routine. When you do something regularly, it becomes easier because you're used to it. Schedule time on your calendar to make sure that it is prioritized. Then create a plan and commit to it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. If you're creating content, do it in batches to free up your time. When you do this, when you commit, if you require, if you desire, if you can, have somebody who will help hold you accountable. And then celebrate your wins. When you have a win, take time to celebrate that, to acknowledge yourself and enjoy those moments, because that is super important too. So I see that there's a question in the chat from Stacy. So is lead gen strategy the same as a marketing plan? So yes. I'm trying to think. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So yes, because marketing is how you catch your prospective clients' attention, and how you generate leads. So how you take somebody from a stranger to being a prospective client, and then into your sales process, into becoming a client. So the main purpose of marketing is to generate leads, is that initial grabbing of somebody's attention. So a lead gen or a lead magnet can be part of a lead generation strategy, right? So we talk about lead magnets as another option. If you are a writer, if you have content to share in that way. So this is a step in that process. Yes, they're definitely related. I'm trying to think if they're exactly the same thing. I'm kind of like, yes. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm gonna go with yeah, like mainly yes. Yes. Cool. Okay. So, what's next? Does anybody have any other questions before I move on to what is next? If you're on live, I've got little pop-ups showing up from my marketing routine now. Okay, so if you enjoyed this, if you got value out of this, I'm just going to talk a little bit about how you can work with me. So I offer a mastermind group coaching program, and I also offer VIP one-on-one coaching. And both of those options feature my signature money maximizer system program. So my group program is called the Badass Boss Program. Enrollment is open for 2 more weeks. I don't know why it says spaces are limited. Originally, I had a target for how many people. I don't know about spaces are limited. Spaces are available. There is a special bonus available with that program, and it is already epic. So I invite you to that, and a little bit about that. So in that, we go through the fundamental building blocks to maximize your business. So if you are just starting out and not clear, or would like guidance and a step-by-step process, or if you've been in business for a while and you feel stuck, this is a chance to figure out where are you stuck, because these are the building blocks. So if something's not working, it's one of these areas, and doing it in a really feminine, tuned in way. So having your profitable niche, your marketing message and strategy, which we talked a little bit about today, having an optimized offer, aligned branding, authentic aligned branding, and automations for scaling and growth. And each of these we go through for a full month, so much more in depth than we did today. And you get to work with me directly on optimizing that for you and your business. And then within that, the way I work with clients is we clarify your vision and direction, make sure you have a strategic plan and actions that know like exactly what actions you're taking each week, upgrade any skills or areas that you may be struggling, make sure you have an environment that is optimal for supporting you, both within the group and in your life and in your physical space, and also inside your mind and emotions by mastering your mindset and emotions, and any healing that maybe like you have limiting blocks or limiting disempowering beliefs that are standing in the way. So busting through that. And then why me? Like what makes me different than all the other business coaches out there? So I'm kind of an energetic matchmaker, and I have a way of seeing both the unique essence of you, but also like matching, whether it's like the niche or the marketing method or the wording. Like I have a way of finding the energetic match that's going to really work and streamline things for you. And in business, there are 3 things that every business needs: a creator, a connector, and a mover. And when you have all 3 of those in one person, that's a foundational person. So I happen to be a foundational person, but so filling in those gaps, but also helping you see where are your strengths within that. Maybe you're a foundational person and you don't know it. Or maybe you require one of these pieces in your business, and helping you figure out which of those are required for you. I'm also super nerdy and wordsmithy. Writing is one of my strengths. So helping you create copy that converts for your business. Again, healing to eliminate any blocks or limiting beliefs. And then I have 10 years of experience on the back end doing all the tech things to run a business online. So any tech setup to make your business, your online presence really professional, so that you give off an air of authority, and then making sure that everything is set up and runs smoothly, so that as clients are going through your marketing and your client journey, that doesn't turn them off or send them away in the process. So again, here are some nice things that people have said about working with me in the past. And I'm always so honored and so grateful to get to work with the amazing women that I work with, and to have such kind things said. So here's a few testimonials. And if this is something that you are looking for, that you're interested in, I invite you to schedule a one-on-one session with me. You can do that at adelleking.com/badassboss. You can also get more information about the program there. I would love to meet with you and talk with you about you and your business and get to know you more. And then the special gift to help you with your marketing message and your marketing method, is a free PDF that you can download on my website, specifically for the Be Live group. And it's called A Million Ways to Market. And in there, it will take you through questions. It's a worksheet to figure out exactly which marketing method. So that's the first step, which marketing method fits you, your strengths, and your audience. So going through this to really get clear on that first piece. So great, Stacy, I'm so glad. So I'll pop this link in the chat as soon as I'm done for everybody. I'll pop both of those links. And if you have any questions, again, if you're watching this later, please hashtag replay. If you have any questions that come up, please feel free to post them in the comments. I will get back to you. This is my info, where to find me. So my main website is adelleking.com. My email, if you want to reach me, is adelle@adelleking.com. And I just saw that Keisha's still here, and I did say I would share with you some of the things that I love outside of business. So this is my very busy slide that I put together to share with you guys, because I was so excited to be on live with you. So a few of the things that I love being on or near or in the water. This was sailing with my brother. He's a sailor professionally. We were in Seattle on a wooden boat, which is apparently a big thing. And speedboating in the Dominican Republic. This is the sea, the Mediterranean Sea in Tel Aviv, where I live. I love to cook. So this is some quiche and salad that I made, a smoothie bowl. This was a recipe from the Center app, Chris Hemsworth's fitness app. I love sparkly things. You may have noticed from my presentation with all the gold and the twinkle stars. So I put the fireworks in there. I love fireworks. This 4th of July, I got to see 4 different fireworks shows. So that was epic. And I love woo stuff. I love intuition and tuning in and being spiritual and crystals. And I've really been embracing that even more so in the last year. And with my business being feminine oriented, I think intuition and a lot of those things are more feminine qualities. And then I love to travel. So this is me in Chicago. I was in Chicago in July. This was in Seattle again. That was in April. Again, the other one was in the Dominican Republic. So I'm all over the place. Part of my vision for my business and my life is being a citizen of the world and making that happen. So again, whatever you desire for your business and your life, I know that you can have that if I can support you in that beyond this presentation. Please reach out. I would love to be there to support you in that way. And I hope that this has been of massive value to you. I hope that this helps you in growing your business and scaling to the moon. And again, thank you so much for your time, for your attention, for being here with me, for your questions and your feedback. It's a pleasure and an honor. And I will probably pop in later at the end of my day. I'm in Israel, so I know it's 9 a.m. Eastern time, but it's already almost 5 p.m. here. But I will pop in this evening. So if there are any questions, I will come back and do a little Q&A. So feel free to pop any questions here and I will make a note. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. And I look forward to talking with you soon. Thanks.